So in case you've been under a rock lately, you might have noticed that Hollywood is a bit of a mess right now. They just released a string of box office disasters. I'm talking The Little Mermaid, Fast X, Transformers, The Flash, Elemental, all were over $200 million box office flops. And to make matters worse, it's looking like Indiana Jones and DreamWorks' Ruby Gillman is quick to follow the trend. And these movies were supposed to be big hits. I mean, a Fast and Furious movie not making any money in theaters, a Disney live-action remake from the Disney Renaissance era not making $1 billion like Aladdin or The Lion King. I mean, this just wasn't supposed to happen. These movies were supposed to be big. And they even tried to bring back freaking Michael Keaton for The Flash, and still audiences didn't care.
You are?
Yeah, I'm Batman.
So all of this has left Hollywood wondering, what the heck is going on? Like, why aren't people going to the theaters? Why aren't people seeing our movies? Is cinema really dead? The house is falling down, everyone's screaming, no one knows what's going on. And I think I actually have a few ideas as to what's happening and why people aren't seeing these movies. And also why it seems like people in general are like really adversarial towards Hollywood as an industry. Like, I feel like people are just like really upset with Hollywood and the movies and stuff that they've been making. And I'm gonna go over that in this video. But before we do, if you give this video a like, that would really help the algorithm. Also, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel to never miss out on a single video. All right, now let's get on to it. Up next. Now, to explain just how bad things are currently, I'm gonna have to give you a brief history lesson on just how we got here. No, don't click away, I promise you it'll be brief, but you need to understand something. For decades, Hollywood pretty much enjoyed a captive audience. There was pretty much nothing else to do other than watch the stuff that they made for network television or the stuff that they put in theaters. Video games weren't around until like relatively recently. There was no social media or the internet, so you pretty much just had to watch Hollywood's content because there wasn't a whole lot else to do. And there were three main ways that Hollywood made money. Number one, because they had so many viewers watching traditional television back in the day, they were able to charge obscene amounts of money for ad rates on their networks. For example, the series finale of Friends, it cost $2 million to put an ad on that thing. So yeah, they were making a ton of money. And then number two, they made money from sending their movies to theaters. This one's pretty self-explanatory, although less and less people are going to theaters now, and I will be explaining that later. And then number three, they made money from selling those movies on DVD, on rental, selling the rights to a TV channel to run on replay, that sort of thing. That's how they made the majority of their money for decades. But everything changed when the internet attacked. But the internet really did change everything. And I think to this day, it's still the majority of Hollywood's problems. In the 2000s is when the internet really started to boom, and we got things like iTunes and the rise of piracy. Now people could watch whole movies and TV shows without even having to turn on their television or go to the theater. All they needed was a computer and they were good. This was the first time ever that Hollywood could no longer control how and where a person watched their content. Now, for the first time ever, consumers were in charge of what they watched, when and where. And this would forever go on to change the landscape of Hollywood forever. So you're probably thinking, alright, so the internet changed things, I already knew that. What does this have to do with all these movies that have been bombing lately? Well, let me get to that. You see, streaming started to boom in the early 2010s, thanks to movies and TV shows being readily available online. This made people feel like they didn't need a TV subscription anymore. Why wait to watch your favorite show at a very specific time on network television when you could just watch it at any time you want on streaming for free? So many people started cutting the cord, and that spawned this hellish cycle that Hollywood finds itself in now. Firstly, you had Netflix and Hulu and other streaming services that got really popular. And with more people having streaming services and all sorts of movies available at home, less and less people started going to the theaters. But because less people were going to theaters, studios started doubling down on IP and remakes and sequels because those were sure to get people in theaters. Meanwhile, cord cutting keeps accelerating and the whole cycle just repeats again. This is the hell cycle that Hollywood finds itself in currently. And in 2020, COVID made everything worse. For the first time ever, people really couldn't go to theaters because they were closed, so people were forced to watch things at home. This is also when every studio and their mother and father started a streaming service, so it seemed like literally everyone had one. And to this day, there are currently over 200 streaming services currently live and active. Did you know that there were 200 streaming services? Because there are 200 streaming services. That's ridiculous and obviously not sustainable. All Hollywood has done now is divide audiences' attention further. They were already competing with video games and social media and videos like this one you're watching now, but now they're also competing with each other, because why go to theaters to watch something new when you can watch the bajillion shows or movies that are dropping at home on your television? Like, they're kind of hurting themselves at this point. Everyone sees the writing on the wall, everyone knows that traditional TV is on the decline, and everyone was seeing how much money Netflix was making, and all the studios thought, well, we could do it. If they could become profitable and make money, then we could do it too. And then this will be a replacement for the money we used to make. Except that's not what happened at all. In fact, no one's making money from streaming. In fact, Netflix is still the only streaming service that is actually profitable. All the other studios are losing money in the billions on their streaming services, especially like the big ones like Disney. So now Hollywood is in this precarious situation where they're kind of desperate for money because they're being hit everywhere. I told you at the beginning of the video that Hollywood made money in 3 main ways. The first one was selling ad rates on television networks. Well, if there are less people watching television, then they can only charge so much, and they need eyeballs there, but there's less and less people watching. I told you they also made money by sending movies to theaters, but less and less people are going to theaters to see their stuff, as evidenced by all these movies bombing. And thirdly, I told you they made money by selling DVDs and rentals, which has also drastically declined because who the hell buys a DVD anymore? So when I tell you that Hollywood is desperate right now, I mean they're really desperate. So that's why you're getting never-ending sequel after never-ending reboot from all these studios, because they're relying on established IP and properties you've already seen before to drive people to theaters. That's why you're getting movies like The Flash, which literally use CGI to bring dead people back to life just to try to get people to theaters, but it didn't work. That's why you're seeing in Jurassic World 3, you had all the actors from the original Jurassic Park come back, and why that's becoming a running trend in a lot of movies. That's why we're getting a Toy Story 5, because Pixar movies haven't been doing well lately. And yes, unfortunately, that's why we're getting a live-action Bambi, because Disney really wants us to watch a live-action deer get shot in the head, because that's just where we're at right now in entertainment. They're that desperate. But I think 2023 is the year things have started to change. And I think audiences are saying, no, enough is enough. We have had enough of all these franchises that are well past their expiration date. We have had enough of all these mediocre films that are just okay. We're done. We're not seeing them anymore. And I think the sameness with all these movies is why there's like a general malaise across all Hollywood content right now, as people are just generally wary about what they're gonna get, because a lot of what we've been getting lately just isn't very good, because it's all coming from a place of desperation on Hollywood's part. In fact, I recently just saw an article that said that Japan in particular is really starting to not like Hollywood films, and they think that anyone who likes Hollywood content is a nerd, because they see Hollywood fare as just nostalgic nerd movies at this point, which is really sad. So what does Hollywood do from here, and how does it turn its reputation around? Because I really think Hollywood's reputation has been tarnished by the subpar content they've been releasing, and a number of other things, but a lot of it's the stuff they've been releasing. And younger generations would rather play video games or scroll through social media or watch a YouTube video than like go to the theater and watch something most of the time. And I don't think those habits are really going to change as they grow up, so Hollywood has to change something quick. But to be honest, I don't think that the future of Hollywood is bright. I think it's gonna get a lot darker before it gets any better. The reason why I'm skeptical about Hollywood's future is because, to be honest, it doesn't look like Hollywood's really learning the right lessons. They keep greenlighting movies that not a lot of people are very interested in. It's coming to the point where the youth of today are now turning to like anime and Eastern entertainment because they don't really find much entertainment in what Hollywood produces, so that's pretty bad. So they have to like retrain an entire generation at this point to like their stuff more. Plus, Plus, with artificial intelligence advancing, who knows what could be possible in the future, which is gonna hurt creativity in general. Marvel just used artificial intelligence to make their entire intro for one of their latest TV series, so if you think this sounds far-fetched, it's already happening. So yeah, I think things look pretty bleak, I'm not gonna lie. I want to be positive, I want to be hopeful, because I actually really like movies. I'm a huge nerd, obviously, but I have to call it like I see it, and I see Hollywood is struggling right now, really bad. I've been wanting to make this video for a while because I've been looking at all these movies not doing well, and then Hollywood, like, there's like never-ending headline about something wrong with Hollywood or something wrong with whatever studio, and I'm like, oh god, I've never seen Hollywood in such a worse state. This is pretty bad. But I thought this was interesting. I hope you liked this video. It was a little bit different. Please let me know if you want to see more of these kinds of videos. I really like making this. As always, please make sure that you like the video. Liking this video is the best way that YouTube shares this video out to more people, so please make sure that you do that. Also, please make sure that you subscribe to never miss out on a single video, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye.